Hey, 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 Team Vaccination. Nice to see everybody jumping on here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just going to give a few minutes here for people to jump on. I see Dan Cristanti, Hal Saddington, Jan Whiting, Joanne, I believe probably, I'm not sure which Joanne. Linda Visosky, nice to see you on here, Linda. There's my liney. Doogsy, never, always at practice, kid. Always at practice. Want to be good, you got to go to practice. Got to get better. Right, Doogs? Give me something, Doogs. Right? Got to go to practice.
Yeah. Every day. Every day.
Every day. Got to go to.
That's what the pros do every day.
That's what the pros do. We're all on our way to becoming pros for sure. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm just looking to see if our girl Pat is getting on here. If I can see. Don't see her on here yet. She is our team trainer for the evening, so I'll just give her a second here. Hope everybody's doing well tonight on this beautiful Monday. We're getting warm weather again here in Brantford, Ontario, so I hope everybody else, wherever you're jumping on from, is getting a good warm. There's Pat. There, I see her. Okay, hang on one sec, Pat. I'm gonna make Pat. I'm gonna make you co-host, so you have control, and you can mute or unmute. There you are. Hello, Pat.
Hello, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm admittedly a little bit nervous, but I'm doing great.
I think you are gonna do awesome. I'm just so thrilled for you. I'm thrilled that you've decided to do a training call. I know they're not easy. I know it's not easy to get out of your comfort zone and jump on these calls, and but that's growth. That's where we grow. We got to get out of our comfort zones. And I remember a girl named Pat Grass that came up to my fishing lodge one time and was so terrified of swimming and jumping off a rock that we have. And I know that we beat that fear out of her. And she conquered her challenge. Did we not?
We sure did. And you know what, Terry? It was not an easy thing for me to jump off of that rock into, how deep is that water? Like 15 feet?
Mm-hmm.
So I can swim, but I'm not a great swimmer. I'm not a strong swimmer. And while it did take me having to do that to actually physically jump off the rock, I could not have done it without your support and without Lori's countdown and everybody that was there. Like when Lori started counting down from 5 to 1, I was like, oh man, this is it. I can't not do it when she gets to 1.
Well, you know what, Pat? It's all about team. It's all about, we all have different roles to play. And my liney dudes will always tell you we all have a role to play on the team. Some people got to go defense. Some people got to go center. Some people score goals. Some people fight. You know what I mean? It's all part of the roles. And I'm just so excited when people step up to get out of their comfort zone, to grow, because really it's one of the pillars of our foundation of Ikigai, that we have to be committed to self-improvement. And so self-improvement doesn't happen by staying in your comfort zone. It happens to happen when you get out of your comfort zone. So when I see teammates like yourself that are willing to step out of their comfort zone, to step up and do a training, I am absolutely thrilled with that. I'm just so excited. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for growth.
Well, you're going to get growth, but, perfection probably a little way off.
None of us, hey, trust me, none of us, there was only one person ever in the world that was perfect, and he died on a cross. But he rose in perfection and newness of life. So anyways, the point is I'm excited to have you on. And so we're about 5 minutes past the half hour, so I'm going to get started with an introduction because this is a thrilling night for me. And I'm sure with Dukes, I'm sure with Lori, I'm sure with Jen and some of the people that were, up at our lodge where we all overcame certain barriers, certain things that were making us fearful. And together, we helped each other overcome those barriers. And that's what this is about. And now helping overcome those barriers, jumping out, doing a training, and then giving your input to the team, helping out the team. So I'm just delighted. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pat. So Pat was born and raised as a farm girl. She is she's an absolute animal lover, especially horses and cats. And she's got a farm with I think 19 or 20 horses on the farm and 2.75 cats, I believe, because one's an amputee, so it's not quite a whole cat. And a dog with her very tolerant husband, Jerry, who's an absolute gem. I've met Jerry on a number of occasions and love the guy. He's an awesome guy. And Pat lives outside a little Western Ontario town called Tiverton. So Pat is a stepmom to 3 grown and married men. And in June, Pat became a trophy Oma to a beautiful little girl, Abigail. And so before becoming a Vox Life or coming to Vox Life, Pat had spent 25 plus years as a transport truck driver in the transportation industry, doing long hauls over North America and doing local construction work. So this girl really is a jack of all trades. Now, can you see this little powerhouse driving down the highway in a great big 52-foot trailer, 18 rig blowing that? I can't imagine how many people were chasing you down that highway.
I was called the Pied Piper more than once, Terry.
I believe it. So she actually fell into Vox Life when promoting a different network marketing company to the owner of a fitness studio. The owner of the fitness studio showed Pat, the top of her Vox socks and mentioned that they help with balance, stability, pain management, etc. And Pat had not heard about Vox, but took the info in the back of her mind and kept going with her other venture. She kept watching through another Facebook friend who was posting testimonials. And after 10 months, Pat had accumulated a list of about 70 people that she thought if these socks and insoles truly do what they say they're going to do, then I can help these people. I can help these people. So without even trying the demo or anything, she got some product and she decided to join our mission. And that was 21 months ago. And now she has a small team. She's learning, as we all are, to do better, to share, do it in the pockets of her life. And she also has helped hundreds and hundreds of customers with their wellness issues. And I know that this girl is an absolute gem that not only loves this company, but loves the products and loves the people and the culture that we're sharing. So it's my good pleasure to introduce our trainer tonight, Miss Pat Ferris-Grass. Take it away, Pat.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate the opportunity that we have here to step up and figure out something that it is that we're good at and share it with others. So thank you so much for this opportunity tonight and not telling me to go jump off another rock when I suggested this is a topic. So I will share my screen here. I've prepared a PowerPoint. And there we go. Slideshow. Okay, so for all of you that have joined us tonight here, I appreciate you taking the time. I decided to choose the topic of three-way calls, how to do them, their importance, and how they help you grow your business. Because I've seen through my own business how three-way calls have been a valuable tool. What are three-way calls? Well, they're a way for us to connect our prospects and even our customers and have them connect to experienced members of our team to answer their opportunity or product questions. They lend credibility, just a second, I have to shrink this up. They lend credibility to you, the company, and the products via a third-party validation. So they're a really powerful tool to use. So I'm going to take this from the very beginnings in case no one really even knows how to do them or how to even set them up or anything. I'm kind of going from the aspect of this is for people who've never done a three-way call whatsoever. So how do you do them? First thing you have to do is make sure that you have three-way calling enabled on your phone by your provider, either landline or your cell, or if you do voice over internet, just make sure that you have three-way calling on your phone. The process to connect is simple. I like to call my expert or upline first, and I'm going to refer to the person who's giving the information to your prospect or your customer as the expert or the upline throughout this call. So I like to call that person first, and sometimes I'll give them a little background information on the prospect that we're connecting with. So once your expert has answered, you want to hit the link button on your phone and then dial your prospect or customer. After the prospect or customer has answered, then you hit the link button a second time, and all three parties should then be connected on the call together. You can also do a three-way call by connecting with Zoom. And Zoom is a great way to connect with people for three-way calling. One of the advantages to Zoom is that because you have the video capability, you have the ability to make an even deeper connection than with the telephone. So it's worth doing a Zoom call if you have the ability to do that, and the person who is your prospect knows how to use it. So to do a Zoom call, you first need to establish a free Zoom account at www.zoom.us, which you guys all have know that because you're on the call here with us tonight. Once you have gotten your free Zoom account, you want to learn how to connect to it, to use the screen share, how to stop the screen share, to use the chat, to disconnect, to record, etc. Go in there, play with it, make yourself familiar with the features so that when you do a three-way call, you're not fumbling around and feeling really awkward about it. Then when the time comes, you want to send your link to your prospect and to your expert so that everybody has the link and can join in at the assigned time. So I'm going to break the call into two parts. From the perspective of the associate who needs the assistance. So why should associates use three-way calls? Basically, facts tell and stories sell. And stories are the most intimate way that we can share the Vox Life products and opportunity with the people who we want to connect with, either as customers or as potential business partners. We also know how powerful the demo is, but that's something that you have to do in person, where a three-way call is a way for you to connect in an intimate way through the stories, etc., to people who may not be in your area. So for the new associate, three-way calls are a great way for them to jumpstart their business and leverage their upline. New associates don't have to know a thing about Vox, really. All they have to know is that the product works and that they know how to invite their prospect or their potential customer to meet with someone who knows more than they do. Okay, so to their expert, to their upline, whatever it is. It is an excellent way for a new associate to learn more about the verbiage that we use, the products themselves, and the stories that are available to be shared with others. So while you are an associate on a three-way call, you can hear the stories that your expert is sharing. They might be personal, they might be secondhand, but they might be stories that they've never heard before, and they can put those stories into their toolbox. It's also a great way to show our prospect that we have an active support team. And even if you don't know much about the products or the company or the terminology, that you don't have to know it, that someone else has your back while you're learning the system. So who do you use as your expert? This is an opportunity to reach into your Vox Life network and a great excuse to meet other associates and build your connections. Find other associates with various backgrounds and experience and ask them if you can put them into your three-way pool of experts, someone that you can call on when you have a three-way call to do. Try to match your expert with your prospect through commonalities. So, for instance, if I had an athlete, I'm probably going to give Kevin a call, Kevin Duguay, and say, do you have time to do a three-way call with me, Kevin? I've got this terrific athlete, and I think your knowledge is going to connect best with the athlete. A better connection can be built on an instant rapport and make the prospect feel more welcome. And that's going to open them up and make them more inclined to take on the information that you're going to share with them. So how do you conduct three-way calls well? First thing you want to do is contact your prospect and your expert ahead of time and schedule at least 30 minutes for the call. Sometimes they take a little longer, but if you stay on point, you can probably keep it to 30 minutes. Find out a few things about your prospect and your expert ahead of time so that you can edify each of them to the other at the beginning of the call. You may also want to share some info about your prospect with your expert ahead of time to give them a conversation. Some points of interest to share in the intro and the edifications would be family, career, personal interests, perhaps what has led that person to Vox Life, if you happen to know it. So if I give you a bit of a for instance, if I had a prospect named Wanda, and I thought that Terry was maybe the best person to connect her with, we would connect on the three-way call, and I might say something to the effect of, Wanda, I'd like to introduce you to Simon. He is the #2 associate in the company. He's been here from the very beginning. He is a family man. He's married with 2 beautiful kids, and he loves sports of all kinds. He's an avid hunter and fisherman. He's got this beautiful lodge in Quebec. And he, before he came to Vox Life, he had a little bit of network marketing experience, and he also had a printing business. So he comes from a varied background. And Terry, I'd like to introduce you to Wanda. I met her at a vendor event, and she has tried the products. And like me, she's an avid horse person. She loves to ride, and she's found that the socks and insoles are really helping her with her balance and helping keep her calm while she's working with her animals. And because of the great results she's had, she's really interested in how she might be able to help other people. So Terry, I'd like you to meet Wanda. Wanda, I'd like you to meet Terry. So your introduction could go something like that. You want to really try and help the person, the prospect, to realize that there's a bit of a connection, right? After the intros, and honestly, not stressed enough, zip it. It is your job as the associate to be quiet. This might be the most important part of the call. Do not interject, do not add on, do not speak unless you are actually directly asked to answer something or for your input. Be quiet after you do the intro. Why? Because the point of the three-way call is to let the expert be the expert. And interjecting or interrupting invalidates them and their wisdom to the prospect. The prospect will be wondering, well, if you're interjecting all the time, why do we even need to be talking to this other person? So this is your chance as the associate to notes and learn how to do a great job as an expert in the future, so that when it's your chance, you can duplicate this system on your own team. And once the expert has answered all of the prospect's questions and shared their stories, you can thank your expert for taking the time out of their day and let the prospect know that you will be following up with them with more info, or if they have made a decision to join Vox Life, that you will be helping them to sign up as an associate. You'll recall will be from the perspective of the expert and the upline who is giving assistance. So if you are the expert on the call, don't be afraid of being asked a question that you don't know the answer to on a three-way. Just be honest and say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can find out and I can get back to you. Don't, whatever you do not make anything up. Do not fabricate, do not lie. We want to be in full integrity. And there's no shame if someone asks you a question that you've never been asked before and saying, that is a phenomenal question that I don't know the answer to, but I will find it for you. So try to connect briefly at the beginning of the call after the introduction with the prospect or customer via the info that you've been given by the associate and what you learned during the intro. A little small talk goes a long way, right? And it helps the prospect feel a little bit more comfortable. Tell your story, how you came to Vox, why you stay with it. Be direct and be passionate. The prospect is really going to feel your energy, and they're gonna connect with you on that level as well. It's not just your words that speak volumes to your prospects. It is your energy and your passion as well. Share Jay's mission and explain how our team and company culture is unique in network marketing. Hashtag one team, right? Like, we are all here. We've all got each other's backs. We're all here to help each other in any way that we can. Listen to the prospect and the customer's questions. They need to know you care. And if they ask you a question that you don't answer, that you dance around or take in another direction entirely, they're gonna wonder why they're listening to you, right? So make sure you listen and connect with what it is that they're asking you. Ask the prospect or the customer clarifying questions if it's necessary. Dig a little deeper. This makes them feel heard and valued in the process, and it will help you find their pain point. And when you find the pain point, you find the reason for them to either purchase a product or join us in our mission. At the end of the call, you ask for the sale. So you can approach it something like, have I answered all your questions? Great. Do you think that you're ready to sign up and link arms with us in this mission? Or if it's a customer, are you ready to purchase some products suitable to your needs? You definitely want to ask for that sale. That is one of your primary goals on the three-way as the expert. Now, if they are not ready to sign up or purchase product, that's okay. Just be sure to set the associate up for a follow-up with a prospect or the customer by directing the associate to send info to the prospect or customer. For example, the opportunity video, Vox Life testimonials, that kind of thing. The YouTube channel, maybe the Vox Life website, whatever it is that you think might be beneficial to the prospect in their search for more information. And let the prospect or customer know that you're available for any questions that they have, or welcome them to the team if they have decided to join. How do three-way calls help you grow your business? First of all, they are simple. It's easy. It's a phone call, folks, or a Zoom call. It's not rocket science. It just takes a little time and a little effort to make that connection. They are duplicatable. So as an expert or as an upline, when you conduct three-way calls for them, not only are you helping grow the team, but you are teaching your current associates how they're going to grow their own teams. So it's a really important and duplicatable part of the system. It's a great way to establish a personal connection. Oops, spelling mistake. With the potential prospect or customer. So when they hear your voice or when they see you on the video screen, suddenly they've gone from knowing one person who is in Vox Life to 2 people. Now they realize that there's more to it than just the person that they've already met. So show that while it shows that while the business is theirs to operate, that they're not alone, that there's always support for them to lean on and to help them with all of their potential problems and challenges. It shows that they don't have to have all the answers and that there is team support when they don't have the answers. So once again, it goes back to they're in their business to operate it as they choose, but that they are not alone in it. So I hope that was, I know it was short and sweet. I hope it was helpful. I hope that some of you learned something that you maybe didn't know about 3-way calls before. Hey, Kevin, thanks for the thumbs up. That's awesome.
Okay, Pat, absolutely spectacular. You couldn't have nailed it any better. 3-way calls are, I think, the least used tool in the industry for new people starting out.
I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. I've not done very many of them on my own team, and I don't know whether it's just a lack of awareness that they know that it is a tool to be used, and it's so effective. I know that when I do 3-way calls, there's a really high conversion rate, like as high as taking people to opportunity events in my experience.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 amazing points that you made that are so key to 3-way calls. One of them is third-party validation. So you have somebody else that's considered an expert that's going to validate everything you've told that prospect or customer so far when they get a chance to do it. Okay, yeah. So they're going to validate anything that you've said. The other thing is that you said that's so important, such a key thing, because I've been on 3-way calls before where people have asked me to come on and they won't be quiet. And I'm like thinking, why did you have me on this call? You won't shut up.
Yeah.
Right? So it gets frustrating.
I cannot overstate the value of just zipping it. It's so important. And I know the temptation is there to jump in and add your own part to the story or whatever it is, but it's really, really important that you don't do that.
Yeah, because like you said in the training, it undermines the expert, right? And I know it's exciting, especially if the conversation or the 3-way call is going in a really, really good direction. You get excited, you get whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're the expert and it's going in a great direction, stop. Get to the end of the conversation, let them be excited, and then follow up with your prospect right away. So absolutely bang on. I think they are a very underused tool, especially for new people starting in the business. I mean, when we first started, I leveraged Kevin, he leveraged me, I leveraged Jay from the beginning because that's all we had, right? So, yeah. I leveraged him, because he was available, he was in our marketplace, he was here, so I had the good fortune of doing that. But we have so many great people that we can leverage in this company now. People that are stepping up to be leaders. People that have had great experiences on the product. People that can share their story. And sometimes it's just as much as saying, hey, I'd really like you to talk to Kevin Duguay. He's an amazing sports therapist. He worked with tons of teams and athletes. But aside from talking to him about our technology and everything, I think you'd really enjoy the conversation with him because he's a great guy.
Exactly.
You can even take it away from the business a bit.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, I'd like you to speak to my friend Diane Dinkmeyer. She's in her 70s and she's kicking butt in this business, having a great time. She's been in network marketing, and man, she is a rock star for what she's doing at her age. So you edify not only the business side about about it, but the personality and the character of the person, so that people can get excited about, hey, I want to meet this girl. I want to meet this guy.
Right.
I want to hear what they're like, and so on. So fabulous job. Everybody else thinks she did a great job on her first training. Thumbs up.
Thank you. I see Joan said, I've done three-way call, mute yourself. That is an excellent point. Mute yourself, and then you're not tempted to jump in, because then you actually have to push the button to get back in. So that's a great tip, Joan. I wish I'd thought of that to put in the slide presentation.
Yeah, and I like the fact that, we have the technology of Zoom. You can get a free account, and it allows you up to a half-hour call for free. And
I think it's longer than that even, isn't it?
They may have extended it. I haven't had the free account for a while, but they may have extended it. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, it's a great tool to be able to put a face to the voice. It's always nice, and you can introduce yourself and so on. It becomes a little bit more personal than a phone call, I find. And so you can get a feel for the person that you're talking to, because I think that's important too. So bravo. Pat, I'm going to ask your permission. Can you send this to me, and I can post it on the team page, or you can put it in the team page and we'll approve?
Yep. I saw a couple of typos, so I'll fix those up and I'll post the slide presentation.
Yeah, because it's a great reminder to go through for people when they want to do a three-way call, and please, people, leverage those three-way calls. So great job, Pat. Bravo. We appreciate you so much. Secondly, what we're going to do just briefly, I know there's been a lot of conversation about the knee brace and the measurements with the knee brace. So I think I have my partner in crime, Mr. Paul Austin, on here that I'm going to – are you unmuted, Paul?
Yeah, I'm here, bud.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
If you got the charts, let's just do a little brief 5-minute training on how to read the knee brace, because, guys, guilty as charged. I did not read the instructions. I'm guilty. I thought the measurements were about the leg, and they're not about the leg. It's measuring the actual garment itself. So shame on me. I was lazy, tried to cheat, and it kicked me right in the pants. So we're just going to quickly go over it. Paul can share his screen and explain exactly how the measurement chart goes. I believe that there's going to be actually one loaded in the back office as well as a sell sheet, according to Inder. So take it away, Paul.
Yeah, so guys, first off, Pat, you kicked it. That was awesome. I just want to put my 2 cents in quick. I do tons of three-way calls. I've done a lot just recently. When you're bringing someone on that I can just fluently speak this like a second language, it's a huge difference. It makes such a big difference for everybody. So important to, just sit back, be a sponge, absorb it all. It's kind of a common theme. Go to a show, zip, don't say a lot, absorb, listen to the people that are with you, mentoring you. Have a sock and soul party, have somebody come on Zoom and or be there and present with you and doing most of the talking, and zip again, sit back, absorb. So you can see this common trend. Now it's the three-way call. So sit back, get your coffee, go on mute, zip, let the professional that has the experience do the call. It's phenomenal. I can't believe how many people have joined my team. I wish people would bother me all the time that want, and always reach out to your upline first, of course. But I would just be ecstatic to have that happen every second. I'd jump on three-way calls all day. So
absolutely,
it is underutilized for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm just going to laugh quickly because I'm reading your post from Lori Caller. You would have to call the office as addicted.
Oh,
as addicted to what? As associates?
I love that people just get it though. If my success was on grammar, I'd be buried.
Oh, that's good.
So as you can see, guys, here we are. We're at Team Vaccination. This is the new sizing charts I just put up. These are all clickable. If you can see, this was something new. It just happened. I don't know. Looks distorted on a phone, kind of, but we can't figure that one out. But if you look here, so here's the knee support sizing chart in centimeters. I'm just going to go up here because I already have it. So here it is. So these right here, relaxed and extended. So if you look up here, this is a knee support sizing chart. So this is the size of the support, not the size of your leg. So that's where the confusion came in. I was guilty as charged also. I just sort of went over my head, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. So between Brina and Inder and the office and trying to sort it all out, now it kind of makes sense. I'm not an expert on what you'd exactly choose, of course, with this, but just make sure that you understand that it's not referring to the size of your leg. You have to do those measurements, but these obviously have a max opening and closing, and you're going to try to find something that's going to be snug enough to fit on. And hey, this is going to be a little bit of trial and error. I've already seen a few people post what the size of their leg is and which one they have on right now that feels comfortable. So we're going to have to go through a little bit of that process, I'm sure, because everybody's body shape and things are different. So just make sure you know that there's a relaxed fit and the extended fit of it, like the max that it would stretch out. Then you got to know that there's going to be compression there, and you want to make sure you have enough so it's not sliding up and down your leg, of course.
Yeah, and I think the key thing there is, Paul, is the relaxed fit. You want to have a little compression in a knee brace. So if your knee or if your upper leg is measuring, 30 centimeters around, you don't want to get the 30 centimeter medium one. You want to get something that's a little smaller so that it fits a little tighter, right? Because there has to be some compression there. So that's sort of a judgment thing, as you said, to decide, think about it as, almost like a compression sock. The actual knee brace itself is going to stretch out. So you want it to expand bigger than or smaller than what your actual measurement is.
Yeah, and then that was the metric, of course, and this is the imperial is what we call it. I have no idea. We like to have kilometers, miles, and imperial and metric, and it confuses everything, but we have to have both sides so that it makes sense for everyone. So no different if it's 11 and a half, you're not going to want to put on, say, the 14. You're going to be able to jump into it. So you want to make sure that you're sliding it up, and it, like Terry said, had some compression to it. So those are the two charts. They're all clickable links. This is just an actual sheet metrics and an explanation of what this product does. So this is huge because this is something now you can send out, or you can make printouts of it. But it here is explaining the brace, and then of course showing that sizing chart again. And again, it's in also the metric and imperial form. So the inches are here. And that's basically it, guys. Like I say, some of it may be trial and error. You got to know what kind of compression you can take. Obviously, you have to have some for it to stay on. So just kind of try to go within those guidelines, and it should work out pretty good. So.
Okay, I'm going to unmute Kevin for a sec, because he was a sports therapist, or is a sports therapist, not was, still a great sports therapist. And maybe Kevin.
I'm just going to, I guess I'll cancel the screen now. That's good for everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, so.
Can you hear me, Terry?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Kev.
Yeah. No, in fact, I was on the phone with Terry Lynn about this. And what I found with sleeves is, and this is from experience with fitting clients at the clinic, especially for those that are going to be at vendor shows and you're going to be out on the road, it's almost like you have a sample kit that goes with you. And if somebody's already wearing a sleeve, you can measure, and then you're going to try it. And it's just like trying on shoes. This is the large, this is the medium, this is the XL. How does it feel compared to what you're currently wearing? Because what I often found, right? If you're wearing a sleeve, can I show you something else that we have that's further enhancement with HPT, yada, yada, yada. But now it's always about the feel. And like Paul brought up a great point. It's going to be trial and error with some of the sizing charts. And that's part of the process with an online, if they're looking to go to your replicated site to order. But if you're going to be, when you're live doing events, or you're at a sock and sole, I would highly recommend that you would have a sample braces there with you. So if somebody has one and they want to touch it, they want to feel it, and they put it on, it just expedites the ordering process so that they know, yeah, that's what I want. That feels amazing. They can squat up and down, and this is what we did in the clinic when we were fitting neoprene sleeves. Same thing with my athletes. You would measure them. Some have more muscle tone than others. This is another thing. You're going to see people that have soft tissue issues that, again, you have to be sensitive with the amount of compression. So that's coming back to your point, Terry.
Yeah.
And so, right, it's finding our way through this, and it's always doing what's right for the customer. And that way, if you're doing it live, I highly recommend that option. If you can't, you can't. But those are some of the metrics I'm seeing with a lot of us is face-to-face and kneecap-to-kneecap, as we call it, with this venture when you're showing people. So having that as part of your toolbox, I think would be a very powerful fitting tool.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is to ask the question, especially if you have a customer that's reaching out and just saying, how tight do you want it? Do you want it real tight? Do you want it sort of semi-tight, just so it stays up on your leg, almost like our wellness sock does? Do you want it tight like our knee high? That sort of idea. You want to get a feel for that. Yeah, I like a good snug fit. Then you can direct based on the size of the stretch of the product, which it gives us there. So I think it's important. The return policy is going to be the same. You can do an exchange if it's the wrong size. I'm sure that that's not going to be a problem based on exchanges. So we're all with being a new product, and like you said, Kevin, it's sort of figuring out, as Paul said, it's trying to figure it out. But at first, I think we all were mistaken by looking at it and not actually slowing down and reading it, because I was guilty as much as anybody probably that I thought this was all based on the measurement of the leg. And so the leg really doesn't have a ton to do with it until after you measure the leg. Then you want to compare it to what's the stretch value. And the stretch value is going to give you, a tighter or looser fit depending on where you fall on that chart. And so that I hope touches a little bit to answer some questions, because we have had a lot of questions, on the brace itself. So if you have any further questions, please, reach out to myself, to Paul, to Kevin. 3-way calls, dynamite training, leverage them, use them, guys. And as Paul said, hey, if I can help in any way, I love doing 3-way calls. I love doing Zoom calls, getting people on board, asking them the questions, trying to find out, as Pat said, what's their pain point. A lot of times what they may say is their pain point is not really their pain point. But certainly you walk through a series of questions and you may find out that it's something a little deeper. And certainly it helps you validate, as the expert, it helps you validate your associate, their credibility, and then gives the new prospect or customer a reason to jump on board. So great training, Pat. Awesome. I'm always looking for new candidates to step up and do a training. And I know that some of you people are smiling on there and say, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I know you can. I absolutely 100% know you can. So
I want to say that if I can do it, every single person on this call can do it. Everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, guys, we all got something to offer. Every single one of us. We don't all have to know everything. We just have to know something that we can share that maybe the rest of the field doesn't know. And it's going to help us all continue to do this business, to share this technology in a better way. And that's why we train. I heard Eric Worre say one time that, hey, if you have 100 people on your team and only 10 show up, do you not work with the 10? No, we absolutely work with the 10. We have 7,000 people on our Team Vaccination page, and we got 60 people on this call. Does that mean we don't do this call? No, we absolutely do this call, because there might be 350 to 400 that watch the replay. And that's important too. So grateful to every one of you that get on the call here. Grateful to all the teammates. I see my new team buddy, Chad Riddell, on here tonight. Hey, Chatty, good to see you on here. And Pat, thank you so much for the effort you put in. You can tell you put a lot of effort into this tonight. It's a great PowerPoint, very thorough. And guys, review it. And I want to say, Wednesday night, Vox Talk with Krista and Paul. It's just around the campfire, just telling stories. So get your teammates on there, get your prospects on there. It's open to prospects as well. It's open to people that want to learn and hear stories. Get them on here. Remember, guys, we're doing these calls for all of our benefits. Okay? Engage, watch the replay, get on here live if you can, get your teammates on here. This is duplicatable. Okay? So I'm going to open the line so everybody can say goodnight. Have a great night. Thanks for being on the call. Thanks, Matt. Have a great night.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Hi, how are you?
Good night, all. Thanks for being on. We'll chat again soon.
Have a good night.